Why is Shrek the best fairy tale of the 21st century? Hi there, this is Artful Introvert, and today we are going to find out why Shrek is not just a comedy with a fun, thought-out soundtrack, but also a deconstruction of a classic fairy tale that makes us take a fresh look at the world around us. If you enjoy our video breakdowns, like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Shrek is a true pop cultural phenomenon. Even though the first Shrek movie was released 20 years ago, it is still on the hype train. It was inducted into the National Film Registry, its characters are known all over the world. Shrek memes are just another proof of its overwhelming popularity, and the songs used in the movie are now associated with Shrek and Shrek only. Surprisingly, even after 20 years, both adults and children enjoy and quote Shrek, not to mention the amount of new content created about it. What's so special about Shrek? Despite the fact that Shrek is a mocking and cynical movie, it actually follows the canons of a classic fairy tale. Its characters are archetypical, meaning that such characters are commonly used in folklore and literature. And the movie's ending is an ever-present happy ending seasoned with a great deal of morale. At the same time, Shrek turns many elements of a fairy tale upside down and presents them from the perspective of postmodernism. The main character is a kind but antisocial ogre. However, in traditional fairy tales, ogres are always ugly and aggressive. And Shrek's name hints at his bad reputation. The German word Shrek stands for fear, terror, and disgust. This is our lead character, an opinionated ogre living in a swamp in solitude. And even if the toxic stereotypes about ogres brought him lots of trouble, Shrek doesn't bother to convince people that they are wrong. He prefers his peaceful life, never even killing anyone, although he definitely has some anger issues. Shrek could have become a villain if he didn't set out to save the princess and became a hero along the way. The fun thing is, he does it not for the sake of fame or love. All he wants is to have his home back. He saves Fiona, and this is where the fairy tale gets unconventional. It's true that Shrek is strong and brave like a standard hero. He's kind and caring, if a little grumpy, but his true heroic deed was to accept and love the princess the way she is. Fiona's character serves to mock other Disney princesses. The movie is filled with princess cliches that all resolve unpredictably. Take the reference to Snow White, for instance. Fiona sings with a bird in the forest, making it blow up, and cooks the eggs from the nest for breakfast. Fiona waits for the charming prince in a tower guarded by a dragon, just like Sleeping Beauty, and has to cooperate with the beast to escape, like Belle. The only difference is that a long-awaited true love's kiss turned her into a beast too. Fiona is smart, independent, and practices martial arts. The only reason she was imprisoned in the tower was that her parents were ashamed of her. Her fairy godmother is a ruthless tyrant who is up to no good, and Prince Charming is just a self-obsessed narcissist with an overprotective mother. Fiona enjoys living with Shrek, choosing a swamp over a palace. More than that, in the last part, it becomes clear that she doesn't even need a savior. In an alternative reality, she comes to success without Shrek, sparkles the ogre rebellion, and leads a whole army. Fiona deserves a happy ending, and she gets it eventually. However, her happily ever after is different from a typical fairy tale. A beauty has to turn into a beast to find her happiness. A magical sidekick, an animal, or a mythical creature is another character typical for a fairy tale. As a rule, it helps the main character in gratitude for their saving and accompanies the characters in their travels. In Shrek, the sidekicks are Donkey and Puss in Boots. Since antiquity, Donkey represents stupidity, ignorance, stubbornness, and lust, not the most suitable traits for a cartoon character. Donkey's jokes and ridiculous problems he finds are a clear reference to Disney. In Disney's films, sidekicks most often play the role of comic relief. They're bound to be cute, awkward, but quick to help the main characters. With Donkey, the ridiculousness and awkwardness are taken to the extreme, and he's the complete opposite of Shrek. He's too extroverted and tries to make friends with everyone while his physical capabilities are limited. Still, he manages to charm the dragon and even start a family with her. Puss in Boots fits appearance as Shrek's opponent, but joins him after Shrek proves to be noble at heart. Unlike his fairy tale prototype, Puss in Boots is a mercenary who takes any work until he's paid for it, and relies on his wit, cunning, and cute look. In the center of Shrek, like any other fairy tale, there is the development of the protagonists who have to walk a long way to reach their goals. There's also the usual opposition of good and evil, only the evil here has an atypical phase. Most villains in Shrek are classic good characters who show their dark side. The noble Lord Farquaad suffers from multiple complexes and torments magical creatures. The fairy godmother is nothing short of an evil sorceress, and Prince Charming is trying to take over the kingdom. Only Rumpelstiltskin plays his usual role. The evil dragon guarding the princess turns out to be female. The lady dragon is also a prisoner in the tower, and at the end of the first film, she, of all characters, saves the day and deals with the villain. Shrek wasn't the first animated movie targeted at an adult audience, but it was the first to make this format a mass phenomenon. By the year 2001, the public was tired of the family-friendly format exploited by Disney and other major animation studios. Shrek was a whiff of fresh air, and it wasn't much of a surprise when it won the first Best Animated Feature Oscar in history. It was after Shrek that big animation studios started releasing projects with jokes and visual gags for adults as much as for children. Shrek is often criticized for its toilet humor and the repulsive physiology of the lead characters, but it's not that simple. Shrek is a satire on modern society, filled with sharp social humor and cinematic references in the best traditions of postmodernism. Postmodernism is one of the main phenomena of modern culture. It's characterized by constant quotations and ironic attitude to the lofty ideals of the past and the ridicule of cliches. And we see all these features in Shrek. To learn more about the philosophy of postmodernism and its influence on our lives, take our course, The Entire History of Philosophy. The link is in the video description. The creators generously filled the movie with references to The Lord of the Rings with the ring falling on Fiona's finger, Ghostbusters with the giant gingerbread man wreaking havoc on Far, Far Away, The Matrix with Fiona fighting the bandits in part 1, Alien with Puss in Boots attacking Shrek like a chestburster, Godzilla with Genghis roaring during his attack on the castle, From Here to Eternity in the very beginning of Shrek Part 2, Rocky Horror Picture Show, the conversation at the table between Shrek, Fiona, Harold, and Donkey, and even the Mark of Zorro. Puss in Boots copies Zorro's style. What is more, he was voiced by Antonio Banderas, who played Zorro in the 1998 and 2005 films. Shrek made a statement that is relevant today just as much as it was 20 years ago. It doesn't switch the roles of the good and bad characters. The stories which ruin stereotypes and destroy traditions point out the prejudices of our world. Shrek encourages us to stop putting labels on people around us and judge them by actions, not by appearance and or origin. In addition, the range of the characters and their charisma in Shrek is simply amazing. Hiding behind the decoration of a magical world, the creators explored various archetypes and played with them, making jokes about each character. The wolf from Little Red Riding Hood wears grandmother's clothes like a character from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, who puts on the clothes of the mother he has killed. One of the Cinderella's evil sisters is a drag queen the magic mirror shows, TV shows, and the fairy godmother owns a whole empire aimed to fulfill desires. Her potions are a metaphor for the cult of beauty and success in modern society. In the world of Shrek, the main characters of classic fairy tales have become a parody of the Hollywood star system, or Far, Far Away. The letters on the hill, maps of celebrity houses for sale, and the red carpet surrounded by journalists. The illusion couldn't have been clearer. Fiona has a poster of Sir Justin in her bedroom, which hints that Cameron Diaz, Fiona's voice in the movie, was dating Justin Timberlake while working on the movie. But just like in showbiz, the kingdom hides deception and skeletons behind beautiful decorations. Shrek doesn't hide the fact that despite its fairy tale cover, it is not a children's movie. There's a Pinocchio wearing women's panties and Shrek's joke about the size of Lord Farquaad's tower and his complexes, and you can hardly explain it to children. One can blame Shrek's creators for such jokes, but behind the rude humor hides an amazing story about accepting yourself, both in appearance and desires, even if you prefer swamps over castles. But the dangers of stereotypes, honesty in any relationships with family, partners, and friends, that everyone has the right to a second chance, and that you should value your close ones and accept them for who they are. After so many years, Shrek still beats all records in popularity, because it's impossible to sympathize with an ogre who doesn't judge others, doesn't seek fame, but is ready to become a hero when life challenges him, and has to deal with property problems to top it all. There's a little of Shrek, Donkey, or Fiona in every one of us, and we love this story for its wit and optimism. Shrek is a great example of postmodernism in cinema. Even if you don't know much about this movement, you can recognize it in the blink of an eye as soon as it appears on the screen. Cinematic references and Easter eggs that we love so much are an essential part of any postmodern work built on quoting and reinterpreting the works of the past. This is how, even when choosing a movie to watch, we face philosophical ideas and concepts. To understand them better, check out our course, The Entire History of Philosophy. The link to the course is in the video description. What did you think of Shrek as a child, and how do you see it now? And what is your favorite character? Like and share this video if you enjoyed our analysis, and be sure to let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching.